You swore you wouldn't forget. You promised you'd remember. But here you are again, and your memory's still fuzzy. Why can't you just remember?
Good evening, my friends, and welcome. I'm Nero. Today we are going to be addressing Athazagoraphobia, which is more than just a regular fear. It is an irrational fear, a deep, intense, irrational fear of forgetting someone or of being forgotten. This is most commonly seen in the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia patients, as well as their families. When you begin experiencing worrying, forgetting who you are, or worrying that they will forget who you are. I have some personal connection to this. It's not necessarily a deep fear I have. One of the things I have alluded to, I think, previously is that I have concussion syndrome. Over the course of several years, I experienced several mild to moderate concussions. I was having head injuries on a fairly regular basis, and it turns out if you are recovering from one and you have another, however mild, it can multiply in severity. It can make things bad. There are several decades to which I have only the most scant, bare, scattered, blurry memories, mostly from my early 20s to my childhood. It's all kind of scrambled, scattered, threadbare. There's just not a lot of memory to be had there. And I forgot a lot of who I was. Now, I do have several journals, and I have several personal connections of people who do remember who I was, and who I was not great. It's okay to forget who that person was. I don't really care for that person, and I have changed and developed a lot from who that person was. But this goes deeper. There are deeper situations to this where you forget your own name, you forget your own house, you forget where you live, you forget names and faces of family and friends, you forget so much of what is real. And there is a deep sense of fear and dread associated with that. And that is what we are going to explore today in Amnesia, The Dark Descent. A couple quick messages on how to get the best possible experience. Instead, Amnesia should not be played to win. Instead, focus on immersing yourself in the game's world and story. We're going to dial down the volume just a bit. Do not worry about when and how to save during gameplay. The game will take care of that for you. When you want to leave the game, just choose save and exit. Okay, well, that's alright. Dangerous place and you are extremely vulnerable. Do not try to fight the enemies encountered. Instead, use your wits, hide, or even run if necessary. Interplay between light and dark is very important to the game. Because of that, this is vital to set up the gamma correctly. Slider controlled below to do so, until the right square is barely visible. Now that might seem bright to you, but on my screen I can barely see that. Like right there, it's just about blending in. We'll do right there. That's good. Dark room and wear headphones for the best effect. Check and check. Hope you enjoy immersing yourself in the world of Amnesia. The volume does help. Enter name. Okay, I am Nero. Good grief, this volume is intense. I don't know if it's as loud for you as it is for me, but it is. It is beefy. Select. Options. Sound. Input. Graphics. Game. Show subtitles. Show effect subtitles. Excellent. Graphics. Resolution. Custom. Alright. Start new game. Normal. The way the game was meant to be played. Designed to be played. Tinderboxes are well hard to come by. Autosave disabled. Saving your game costs tinderboxes. Losing your sanity will kill you. Let's do normal. This is the way it was intended to be played.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel.
Some things mustn't be forgotten. It is hard when you forget something. Memento has been added to the journal. Journal? Memento. Is it Mori? I have no tinderboxes. Did I get here? Who am I? I'm Daniel? I'm Nero. I'm down left mouse. Okay. There we go. Picked up a tinderbox. And away we go. I have been told that this is a very intense and somewhat frightening game. And for its time, that was probably true. Why am I throwing up? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I'll check in here then. Inventory tab. Tinderboxes. Sanity. Crystal clear. Health. All is good. What was I saying? I forget. Oh, right. It's one thing to forget your car keys. It's one thing to forget an object, or, oh, I forgot to pick up milk while I was at the store. It is an entirely different sensation and experience when you begin forgetting significant parts of who you are. And I've had experience with this, when you have total strangers come up to you and it's like the walls are closing in on us. What is happening? If you were to have a stranger come up to you and insist that you have committed some heinous act against them, and they were quite adamant, it was you did this, you might start by thinking, it's a case of mistaken identity. You have me confused with someone else. But if you have notes in your own handwriting saying how you regret some of the way things have gone between you and another, then you start to question your own sanity. And that is the underlying fear. When you cannot trust your own memory, when you cannot trust your own identity, when you cannot trust and believe in who you are or who you were, well, let's just go ahead and light that back up then. When you cannot trust who you are or who you were, it's playing with incomplete information. It's living with incomplete information. And that is haunting. There's nothing back here. There we go. Back into the light. Slight headache. Well, we all get that from time to time. That is another thing, is when your brain tries to reconcile memories that fragrant taste of rose lingered in his mouth. Turkish delights, he thought, just like the ones at the consulate. Journal. Notes. No notes are available. Diaries? No diaries are available. Mementos. Liquid trail and find its source. That's fine. I met one of my closest friends while I was doing laundry. And we apparently knew each other in high school and in similar circles, but weren't overly close. Can be increased by completing puzzles and making progress. acting as though I'm standing in darkness. I'm not standing in darkness, I'm standing in light. There's light right there. Why would I throw an object? There's no reason to throw an object here. Alright then. That'll teach that object. Anyway, right, friend, yes. I was at the laundromat, doing laundry. Washing a comforter, because I don't have a capable washing machine. And this couple comes in, I look up and kind of acknowledge them. What? Picked up a lantern, filled with oil, can we turn on by pressing F? Okay. I can do nothing with that book. Apparently this character gets terrified of just the concept of wind. But yeah, so this young couple comes in, I kind of acknowledge them, go back to my book, and this guy just walks right up to me and says my name, full name. Hey! I'm like, hey. It's like, how's it going, man? Haven't seen you since high school. How you been? I'm like, been doing all right. How about yourself? Good, good. Yeah, I've been around. You know, moved from state to state, and awesome. So full disclosure, I have no memory, no idea who you are. None. And I kind of explained the situation, and that is my good friend Camel, which we have played games with on stream and all that. Yes, there's unsettling events. I get it. And yeah, apparently we were okay friends in high school. Not great, but pretty good friends. And I have no memory of that. It's actually also, I was tangentially aware of our good friend Quinn in much the same way. Went to high school with Quinn. I would regularly bump into their mother, who would talk to me about how, you know, various members of family are doing and all that. And I was tangentially aware, but not connected. It wasn't an awareness.
1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there'll be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
I'm not sure I trust myself. I think I am an unreliable narrator. Well, now we have some information. Not a lot, but some. It is always odd reading something that you have written and having no memory of having written it. Okay. Slight headache. All is good. Oil. Journal. No mementos are available. Alright. No mementos are available. It won't budge. Allegedly, a shadow is following us. And I don't know at this point where we are supposed to go. I seem to have forgotten. But it's almost like finding something that you have made in your childhood. Like an old school project or something like that. And sometimes you'll have remembered, oh yeah, I made that. But often it will come with a series of thoughts and memories of the time period. You know, maybe you will remember the classroom where you made these things, or you'll remember something. A favorite food or a movie you saw. There's going to be something. Some tickled remembrance. And not having that is, well, it's unsettling, to say the least. I genuinely don't know where I'm supposed to go. The inner sanctum, I know that, but inner sanctum doesn't tell me much. I hate not knowing. I've also had some family experience with dementia, Alzheimer's, and it is one of the reasons that I started kind of practicing improv and whatnot was because of an article I'd read about that the biggest and most important thing is that they won't remember what you said. They probably won't remember your name or who you are to them. That capacity for memory is gone. But they will remember how you made them feel. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I can't go back. And I don't seem to be able to go forward. So let them live in the world they live in. Let them have the thoughts and memories they have. And ask yourself if it's really that important to break that world that they're in. Oftentimes it's not. But sometimes it can be, but usually not. And if you do have to break their reality, do so gently. Or even just get them to focus on another part of it. We have incredibly powerful processors in our minds. We are capable of generating immense worlds, stories, and when that processor starts failing, it doesn't make it any less powerful, it just means the output is different. I am so dumb. Door slammed shut behind him, and he knew he would never again see the old tailor at Berkeley Square. Another lone soul in London seemed appropriate somehow.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Well beyond the refinery. Notes. Self, I already read that. Mentos. Some sort of organic tissue blocks the path to refinery. Can it be dissolved? That is an excellent question. One of the more prevalent things people do now is they use their smartphones. And that is not something I have any qualm with. I generally would recommend people use smartphones differently. They are access to the entirety of human knowledge, as well as an external memory storage space. If I almost always will text people. I'll text my friends, I'll message my friends, family, and a lot of that is for the sake of having written record, for the sake of my memory, because if I don't have it written down, I will not remember it. Archives. Isn't that where we just came from? No. Yes? Maybe. Traveling to Dover meant going through Canterbury. Made sure to pay a visit to avoid the sense of guilt connected with the neglect of the family. I hear a monster.
"16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Here we are, the villains of our own story. We are the villains because we are taking cultural artifacts from their homeland. Hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years, when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian royal court within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break the seal. Wilhelm, House Garrick. Back into the light. Now this is where we heard the monster. So of course this is where we're going to go. Perhaps we should not play piano. Honestly, I forget what we're even doing here. feel like those should open.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
There's more going on here.
"17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today,
You have to
I
write
took
it
some men
down.
and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Not a good thing to be. Oh. Now I truly am trapped. I must find a new way out of this area. Very well.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Stadtenbrennberg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Alstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbour, Castle Brennenburg. The quiet forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travellers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales. There are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This here reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies wrought by their tainted souls have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks, dragged behind them which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? Under Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, I should know how to pronounce that word, visited Alstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Alstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Alstadt. And like most of those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is, in fact, the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. There's also a book, which we don't need right now. It won't open. It's locked. Alright. Hey, look, a key. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end our journey into Amnesia. We might continue playing. We'll see. We'll see if we remember. Cherish your memories, my friends, while you have them. Cherish the memories you have, and cherish the memories that others have of you. Because you never know when they will be gone.